Today's lesson is over composite figures. A composite figure is any two-dimensional figure which is made up of simpler figures. The first example, we're going to find the area of the shaded region. So before we can find the area of just the shaded region, we need to find the area of the two shapes that it's made of first. So we need to find the area of the square. And subtract from that the area of the circle. That would leave us with just the area of the shaded region. The area of a square, its area on your formula chart is area equals S squared, meaning side length squared. You can see that the diameter of the circle is 5. And because it's a square, that means that all four sides of my square are going to be 5. Side length squared, so the area of my square would be 5 squared, which is 25 centimeters squared. The area of a circle, my formula is area is equal to pi times radius squared. Now they've given us the diameter of 5, which means half of that would be my radius. So half of 5 is 2.5. That's the number that I need to use for the area of my circle. So pi, 3.14, times radius, 2.5 squared, which means the same thing as 3.14 times 2.5 times 2.5 again, since I'm squaring that value. When you multiply that all out, you get 19.625 centimeters squared for the area of your circle. Now the last step, to go back and find the difference between the two. Take your whole square, minus the part that's not shaded, the area of my circle, to give you the final answer, the area of just the shaded portion of your figure. And for your answer, you get 5.375 squared centimeters. So several steps were involved in this problem. We had to find the area of the square, the area of the circle, and then find the difference between those two. The next example is made up of a trapezoid and a half circle. So let's work with the trapezoid first, and then we'll talk about how we're going to find the area of our half circle. There's one piece that's missing here, and that's the diameter of the circle. The 5 that they're giving you is the whole bottom base of the circle. I want you to make a little note to yourself that we're going to say that the diameter here is 4. That's what we're going to use whenever we get to our circle. So, the area of a trapezoid, its formula, base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. So let's go ahead and fill that in with our values. Our bases for our trapezoid are 5 and 3. So 5 plus 3 times the height of my trapezoid, which is 4, divided by 2. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. So 32 divided by 2 is 16. So my trapezoid has an area of 16 squared centimeters. Again, the area of a circle's formula is pi times radius squared. If it helps you, you can write it out as pi times the radius again, since that's what it means to square a radius. Now you'll notice on our original picture, we only have a half circle, but we don't have a formula for a half circle. So I'm going to find the area of the whole circle, and then we can divide by 2, since we only actually have half of it in our problem. So pi is 3.14 times the radius. Well, if my diameter is 4, my radius is half of that, which is 2. Don't forget, whenever we find area of circles, we have to have its radius. Pi times radius again. Then we're going to divide that by 2, since we only have a half circle. 3.14 times 2 is 12.56. And like we said, we're going to divide that by 2 since we only have a half circle, which gives us an answer of 6.28 for our half circle. So how do you think that we can find the area of this entire figure here, this trapezoid and my half circle? Good. I'm going to take the area of my trapezoid, 16, plus the area of my half circle, 6.28, to give me the area of my composite figure, and that comes out to 22.28 centimeters squared. All right, you try this one on your own. This one's similar to the bonus that you had in your quiz this past week. So it looks like a trapezoid, but remember, a trapezoid only has 4 sides. It's a quadrilateral. And this shape has more than just 4 sides. But I'll give you a hint. You are going to divide it into 2 separate shapes, one of them being a trapezoid and the other being a rectangle. So take a minute and see if you can come up with the area of that composite figure, the area of the entire piece. So your rectangle is a 12 by 9, which has an area of 108. 9 times 12 is 108. Then, for your trapezoid, your bases are 6 and 12. Now, they don't directly give you the height of the trapezoid, so we have to use the information we're given to come up with the height. If we know the height of the whole figure is 12, and this piece of my rectangle was 9, what does that mean the remaining length, or the height of the trapezoid must be? Good, 3, because 9 plus 3 gives me my total length of 12. So the height of my trapezoid is 3. Trapezoid is base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2. So 6 plus 12 is 18 times my height of 3. 18 times 3 is 54. Divide that by 2, so the area of your trapezoid is 27 feet squared. So now, if I have my rectangle, which is 108, plus my trapezoid, which is 27, the total area of this deck, the whole composite figure, would be 108 plus 27 to give you a total area of 135 feet squared. Don't forget to label. It's still just area that we found. We just ended up taking them as 2 separate shapes, 2 separate figures, and then adding their areas together. Chris is purchasing border plants to outline his garden shown below. So this time we're not doing area, we're doing border, so we're doing perimeter. Use 3.14 for pi, and it's asking, how many feet must Chris outline? So we know that this straight piece here is 5, which means the straight piece up here must be 5. So how do you think that we can find the border length, the perimeter of these 2 curved pieces? Well, together, those 2 half circles would make a whole circle. And the way that I find the distance around a circle is by using its circumference. Circumference is equal to pi times diameter, or circumference is equal to 2 times pi times the radius. You have 2 of those formulas you can use. In this particular problem, we're given this piece 5, which would be my diameter. So I'm going to go ahead and use the formula that calls for diameter. Circumference is equal to pi diameter. So 3.14 times my diameter of 5. When you multiply that out, 3.14 times 5, you get 15.7. That's the distance around my 2 blue pieces that you're seeing on my shape. So that's the distance around these two curved edges. Now don't forget, you have to go back and add your 5 and your 5, your two red pieces, because he's going to border his whole entire garden. So if we want to know how much border he would need total, we have the 15.7 for my two curved half circles. Remember, together they make one whole circle, plus the two 5s to give me a total perimeter of the whole shape of 25.7 feet. And because it's just perimeter, I don't do feet squared. That's only for area. So make sure you're paying attention to your question and what you need the label for.